Okay, I wanted to talk a little bit about how I got into um, supercomputer, electromagnetic radiation, mind control, global mind control system. It all started in my life 10 years ago when I met a Polish person who whose family had ties to the Holocaust. They told me that they had changed their name from a Jewish name, AIA, and I looked it up, and it was a Sephardic name, to some other name when they came to when their family came to the United States. They also had ties to Freemasonry as well. The person had a really bad life. They were very abusive towards me. They had a gigantic cyst. They were 20 years of age, and they had a gigantic cyst on their back. As it turns out, my family, after meeting that person, ended up being murdered. It's technological, so I'm still alive. I could see how there could be some misunderstanding, but it's a technological murder in which my two sisters and myself have all been technologically controlled to die. So we have no children. It's a slow kill as described. 1 second. And so I told that person to leave me alone, and they started stalking me. They called my cell phone. I found them in the backyard of my home on multiple occasions. They also applied at my workplace to be my boss. They also applied at my workplace to be a coworker of mine as well. Another one of my friends came under attack. They also, after I asked them to leave me alone, they graffitied my workplace severely with their friends, and they had given me a piece of paper where they had done the way cool graffiti art comment to me. Other things about the person, their family, their parents had both been multiple times divorced, multiple times. They had a psycho sticker on the back of their vehicle. Other things, when I was getting stalked, that there was multiple people that came in. One man came in, I had no clue who it was, and called me a homosexual. There was also people who came into my work and said, came up with a bad reason to walk into my office. Oh, this shirt that I didn't know was there. See you later. I ended up getting fired from my job because I made a website about the potential abuses. I was advocating the potential abuses of advanced technologies, including nanotechnologies, supercomputer, electromagnetic radiation capabilities. I've been shot in the head, and I have a mark. Next time I shave my head, I'll make a video about it. 1 second. By a high-powered, non-lethal radiation laser. What happened is two helicopters flew out of the mountains. I was driving down a road next to the mountains, and two helicopters, one set up about 100 yards in the air, about half a mile down the road. The other flew right over my vehicle, and then as I passed, I don't know if it was to improve the targeting system or exactly what it was, but as I passed in front of the second vehicle, I received a direct hit center mass in the side of my cranium, and I have a small spot that I know forensic tests could prove that it was in fact a radiation weapon to target me. That was in I didn't mention that one of my other friends, their computer was compromised, and they had $600 transferred from their bank account to the initial person that I had met, their bank account, and the person told me about it. She had also stated that she had been receiving phone calls from payphones. You know, it's pretty smart to hide it as much as possible. One thing a statement that the person had made to me was, I like not getting caught. And another one was, why was my boyfriend cheating on me with an 8th grader? Anyways, from payphones in area code 310, which the initial person had moved away about a year after I had met them. So then it wasn't until, I think it was 2008 or early 2009, that I was shot in the head by a radiation weapon. I'm going to make videos to show as much proof through the internet that I can, as well as videos that will prove undeniably that everyone is under a global supercomputer electromagnetic radiation mind control system. One thing, if you look, and I'm going to make a video about it, I'm actually in the process of making one right now, about the 2008 presidential debate, that shows both candidates sitting there, and every so often they go like this. Their tongues come flying out of their mouths. If you look really closely at television, not Jimmy Kimmel, but the other guy, he does it all the time. David Letterman did it as well. Just randomly they're talking or they're sitting there, and then right in the middle of their conversation they go, and their tongue comes flying out of their mouth. That's the biggest signal, but it is everyone. Secondly, I've heard it all. I don't think I'm being mind controlled. Basically, the technology controls people's brains to deny the fact that it's happening to them. Anyways, it wasn't until I was contacted by a man named Phoenix1975 at yahoo.com through my computer. I was told, you will be used as a patsy. Have you ever considered homosexual acts? I like to discuss the social hierarchy of Lord of the Rings, amongst a bunch of other different things. He was I think at the time, a 35-year-old obese man, and the pictures that I had been provided showed him sitting in an office after being shot in my head. Other things that they had said to me through Yahoo were, and I no longer have the records of it, but I'm sure the records are out there somewhere. I'm trying to keep this first video under 10 minutes. I like to play with puppets. That was one of my favorite ones. I'm going to prove undeniably that people are being controlled like puppets, as well as, are you a breeder? After I got shot in the head with the radiation weapon, I was asked, are you a breeder? Strangely enough, the night before, my girlfriend at the time and I had been discussing having a child. But it's all mind control. And ultimately, I'm thankful that instead of being forced into some long-term electromagnetic radiation existence, I'm being allowed through my own death without child to exit the current environment. I really see the amount of radiation as well as the total enslavement being used to actually be a cause of human death. The only reason why people don't die is because they are controlled covertly to procreate. If they had the knowledge about the system and about the people, the king, as the person's been described, or the prince, who I've actually seen images of on both PokerStars.com as well as Google Maps. Right after I left the person, or I asked them to leave me alone, I then started getting gang stalked by someone on PokerStars named Salvi Angel, whose location was Camarillo, California, which, strangely enough, was the location from which the initial person I met had lived, but I'm pretty sure it was a different person who was stalking me. That's going to be about it for my first video. I'll continue a quick recap of the last 11 years of my life here in the next videos.